Hi, it's me again. I'm glad you've decided to tune into this video, because I will be giving some rather important pieces of advice to everybody on VYOND. I hope you can stay for the entire video, but I won't force it on you. I will try to be as comprehensive as possible so that I don't lose you in the process. Let's talk about posting channel rules. I respect what you are saying about channel rules being old and pointless, but I highly suggest that you don't call people out, humiliate them, demand that their channel rules be removed, or threaten to block them for not removing their rules. Something that's old and pointless does not make it a serious offense, and it doesn't mean people are forbidden from using it. You would be overreacting if you made a big deal out of something that you consider old, overrated, useless, or pointless. You're not handling people's opinions on channel rules. You're taking channel rules too seriously. You're getting into other people's business. You're taking away their freedom on their own channels, while only caring about your own freedom. And you're making a big deal out of something that doesn't concern you or have a negative impact on your channel. Another piece of advice I would like to give would be to not attack people who don't attack you back. This would make the person feel like they're being punished without realizing they did anything wrong. As long as they are minding their own business, there is absolutely no reason to attack them. If the user is deliberately attacking you or your supporters, I suggest that you calmly explain to the user that what he or she is doing is not okay, and convince the user not to repeat his or her actions. If that doesn't work, just block the user and ignore him or her. Don't keep attacking the user back, because it won't improve the situation, and it can likely get you in trouble along with the user you're addressing. If you feel the urge to attack someone for doing something wrong, stop and think about how it would make the person feel, and try to resist the urge. If you find yourself attacking the person without realizing, explain that what you did was accidental, and explain why. Maybe you have a mental disability, or maybe you just have trouble controlling yourself. If that's the case, then you should probably turn away from social media and calm down for a bit. Then go back and calmly explain your issues to the user you personally don't like. And if the user is a sexual predator, he or she must be avoided at all costs. Do not get into his or her business at all, because he or she might lure you in his or her trap, and it would be far too late to turn back. This is actually very important, as these are some of the most dangerous types of people on social media. Remember, if you can think of anything nice to say, then don't say anything. Now a lot of you may not realize that you are cyberbullying, so let me explain some ways in which you are exposing people for their wrongdoings. This sounds like a case of spreading rumors, which is an act of bullying. And if it's from the user's past, you should learn to just forget that he or she did anything wrong, and move on. Exposing personal information. If you're exposing someone's personal or private information to the public, then it sounds like you are supporting the idea of hacking these users, doxing them, or forcibly taking away their rights. Only cruel people do that. Making threats on unsuspecting people. This includes blocking people for questionable reasons, as well as making rant videos, murderous videos, or abusive videos of these people, physical or mental. This is very mean and hurtful. Bashing and criticizing people for not handling criticism. If they can handle being criticized, you need to acknowledge that, and think about how the user feels about criticism. If you continue to hurt people's feelings with your criticisms, then you are a bully. Celebrating someone's placement in the horrible Wonders Wiki website. I honestly don't know why anyone supports this literally infamous website. First of all, calling someone horrible is not nice. And if you're spreading this information to your fan base, you would be humiliating the user to an extreme extent, which can likely cause depression and suicide. Think about that, why don't you? Ganging up on unsuspecting people. Using your fanbase to attack people for something they didn't know was worthy of attacking is not okay. I wish you could just find it in your heart to treat people like friends. If you want to hurt people, then you are a bully. Rant videos. You claim that rant videos are only intended for constructive criticism, but your messages to real people that you are ranting at seem to show otherwise. If you are yelling at them, using swear words, calling them names, insulting them, embarrassing them, or physically abusing them in your rant videos, then it's far from constructive criticism. It's very hurtful, and people are likely not going to support or trust you anymore because of how extremely hurtful you were to an innocent user. Hate bases. They are like fan bases, except they are made of people who quote-unquote hate you. They are basically hate groups, and most of them seem more like hit squads or gang groups. But they are absolutely unnecessary, because if you hate someone, why are you still concerned about them? Just ignore them and move on. And speaking of using swear words, I thought I could bring up the fact that you are using the freedom of speech excuse to say a bunch of offensive words and slurs. This shows that you are behaving like a typical American citizen who takes the Second Amendment way too seriously. And in this case, you are taking the First Amendment too seriously. I hope you can understand that there are exceptions to the First Amendment. There's a reason why radio stations are required to censor words that are vulgar or sexual, or relate to drugs. And haven't you noticed that you were rarely allowed to speak or move around while you were in school, and that you were likely affected by dress codes? You are not allowed to use swear words in church, nor are you allowed to yell out bomb on an airplane or air raid in Syria, or yell out in a crowd of people that you have COVID-19. These types of comments can cause a lot of panic and do a lot of damage. As for the Second Amendment, I probably shouldn't even talk about it because 1. It's very controversial, and 2. Not a lot of people seem to acknowledge the exceptions of this amendment as well. I hope I can spread this message throughout the VYOND community. I hope that my voice will be heard. I hope you can learn to get your act together, improve your behavior, and treat everyone with respect no matter what the situation is. I hope I can make the VYOND community just a little more comfortable. And I hope you are able to understand the importance of this topic, as I'm pretty sure it applies to everybody on VYOND. I know that I am not in the VYOND community anymore, but if I see that my message is heard and everyone is able to listen and acknowledge the message, and treat everyone like friends, then I may consider coming back to VYOND. But I cannot solve this problem alone. I'm going to need your help. Spread this message. Share this video in your community post if you can. Make your own video about this topic, expressing your own opinions and giving your own advice. Stand up for people who are being attacked for petty reasons. Don't be afraid to explain your flaws and weaknesses. The more you speak about your issues, the more people will understand why you are acting toxic. If you have trouble listening, don't be afraid to admit that. By explaining that you have trouble listening, people can try to make their messages clearer and explain them more calmly, which can likely improve your ability to listen. Do whatever it takes to make VYOND more enjoyable and free from cyberbullying and unnecessary restrictions amongst everyone. I know you want your longtime favorite community to improve as much as I do, and trust me when I say that you will feel so much better knowing that you are doing the right thing to help out and do what's best, not just for yourself, but for everyone you know. I know that our optimism will make a difference, so don't be afraid to show your optimism too. Well, I guess I'll see you later. I can't wait to see how people react to this message.